China's disturbing quote unquote death game reality show. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I seen there was like this one game show where they had a guy like locked up. I don't even think it was in China, but I think it was in Japan. And they basically had a guy in a room, and he basically the only way he would get food or anything is if people donated. Like he would only be able to like get stuff if people donated. And like the guy was just I don't know, he was there for like months and like I don't remember, bro. It's some China. These Eastern nations, they got some crazy fucking death games. I saw what you know those like spinny things, like it's kind of like a Beyblade. It's like a spinning top. That shit went into a nigga's ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know,
Imagine
bro.
you're a celebrity in China and you get invited onto this brand new reality show where you're competing in a game of tag, being chased around the entire city. Millions of people are watching and they promise that you'll become famous. Sounds awesome, right? Until you realize that you're just a little guinea pig used for their entertainment. No food, water, or breaks. Slowly but surely, their viewership numbers depend on your suffering, which eventually led to one of the most disturbing tragedies in all of Chinese television. Yeah, so a
Okay.
show was released in China called Chase Me, and the premise was
Chase
basically,
me.
you know what China needs? Squid Game, but with celebrities that can't quit. Yeah, instantly
What the
Chase Me
fuck?
reached millions of views, peaked the popularity charts, and it was actually supposed to be the successor to The Voice of China, which has its own scandals and crazy controversies.
Hold on. Popular Chinese reality TV show faces a boycott for allegedly mistreating deceased pop star Coco Lee, manipulating results.
So this was supposed to be the next big thing, and the show basically centered around one thing: pure suffering. The celebrities were already overworked before they arrived. Filming didn't even stop until the middle of
What
the
the
night,
fuck?
like 8 p.m. all the way to 5 a.m. And almost every contestant threw up after filming. So what exactly was Chase Me? Now, the show was produced by Zhejiang TV
Chase
and
me, chase me. Chase me, chase me. What do you think they're like? They're like intro songs,
featured
bruh.
7 major
You know what I mean?
celebrities. William Chan, a Hong Kong singer and actor who's incredible at fitness. Elaine Zong, a famous actress. Song Yu-Ti, a K-pop group member. And Lucas, a famous Chinese rapper. Plus 3 others.
It's crazy how these people, how these like some of these Chinese people, like they have the most like Western fucking name, Lucas.
But we're focusing
Like
on
what?
these 4 mainly because they had the most screen time. And why? They suffered the most. And just taking a look at the show, instead of building some fake TV sets, they literally transformed Ningbo City into the game itself. And when I say transformed, I mean
That's crazy.
300,000 square meters turned into one gigantic playground. The concept was simple. It's basically an extremely expensive game of tag, except you're being chased by professional athletes. The show marketed itself around 3 core ideas: night, chase, and race. Celebrities would get a head start before the chasers were released, and if you were caught, game over. But the celebrities weren't just running. They were swinging, climbing, jumping, solving physical obstacles, all while knowing that an elite athlete is rapidly closing the distance on them. And honestly, the visual design kind of makes you forget how dangerous everything actually is.
I know, right?
The entire thing looked like something out of Tron. But unlike Tron, you know,
it is a great idea. It's like a great concept of a show, though. Like I'm not gonna lie, though. But like this crazy,
something
bro.
went wrong here, there's no respawns. Now these athletes
No
that were chasing the
respawns.
celebrities weren't your average Joe Schmo, okay? Oh,
Okay.
no. They basically assembled the entire Avengers of Chinese
What the
reality shows.
fuck?
We're talking bodybuilding champions, elite basketball players, martial artists, combat athletes. One of them was literally a SWAT team member.
Oh man, yeah, you're good. Nigga's a Chinese ICE agent.
Meanwhile,
the
the celebrities, their whole day basically consists of filming dramas and doing interviews. You see the problem here? And looking at the obstacles, yeah, it was no joke. The first one was called the Giant Beetle. It was basically a giant enclosed climbing structure with 3 different internal routes. Contestants had to crawl through it using ropes while climbing over walls inside. Mess up, and you fall right into this enormous ball pit. Now, normally this sounds like every kid's dream, you know? But when you're exhausted, every single movement sinks you deeper. The next one was called the Hive Wormhole. This thing was a giant vertical maze made up of 30 honeycomb-shaped chambers. And memorizing the path was completely useless because it constantly kept changing. And after escaping that nightmare maze, you had to face something called the Swaying Bamboo Forest. This obstacle stretched 20 meters and was filled with these vertical poles that constantly moved around. So every single step, the platforms are shifting around and your balance is disappearing. And remember, you've already
What the fuck? What the
been
fuck?
sprinting through an entire city before getting here. And so far, all these obstacles were the preparation for one finale. The final challenge required contestants to rope climb a 20-story building.
What the fuck? The fuck? Gang, what are we doing? Bro. Why though?
Then immediately
Why?
jumping off to zipline down into the finish
Oh,
line.
damn. Okay.
Yeah, a 20-story building. Maybe they're trying to cast the next Chinese Tom Cruise. Now, don't get me wrong,
Right?
these obstacles were tough, but what made this extremely brutal was the running. Throughout the episode, the celebrities kept saying the same thing over and over again. I'm tired. I can't do this, okay? I'm exhausted. And the production's response?
Shut
They
the
keep
fuck up.
filming, because
I know. Shut the fuck up, nigga. We spent all this money, all this time to build this fucking shit. You better shut the fuck up and run, bitch. Huh? Who the fuck said you could stop?
the show must go on.
David Goggins would love this shit, bruh.
I mean,
like
the
a nigga like Dave. Oh my god, what the fuck?
The whole reason that these
These niggas are mogging me.
participated in the show was to boost their popularity to get acting gigs and more followers. This was also
Okay.
a brand new, heavily promoted reality show that China had never seen before, so it was a huge opportunity. This
Why
basically
not?
meant that quitting would cut their screen time and make them look weak in front of millions. In fact, the red flags had already started in the first episode. One of the most dangerous examples happened to Zhou Shiming. He wasn't some regular celebrity. He was an Olympic boxing champion. One of
What?
China's most accomplished combat athletes. So if anyone was prepared, he was definitely the one. But during one of the challenges, Zhou failed and he fell into one of the ball pits. At first, it didn't seem like a huge deal. But then his legs started cramping up severely and he could not get out. At the same time, he started having heavy breathing issues due to the exhaustion. And instead
Right.
of immediately rushing to aid him, the production team just kept filming. It wasn't until other members started shouting for someone to help that they finally went and brought him back.
Gang, just fucking help the guy, bro. It really ain't that deep, bro. You're not gonna lose viewers, gang. You know what I'm saying, bro?
And once viewers noticed this, they started seeing a pattern because every time somebody was struggling or got seriously hurt, the production team would just constantly delay their rescue and keep filming them. Pretty much pushing the celebrities' limits to see how far they could go or like how much they could suffer before something happened.
They wanted them to die, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Basically putting them on the brink of death. And those
Right.
were the clips that went viral.
What if you pass up? Like, what if you do one of those, the part where you climb the rope? What if you pass out on that, bruh? You know what I mean? What if you pass out on that, bruh? Like,
Then another thing happened.
that's
Elaine
not-
Zhong said that her head went completely numb after doing one of the races. She ended up quitting only after 2 episodes and said, "My heart couldn't take it anymore." She later revealed that it took her over half a month just to recover from those recordings. It was so physically demanding that she had to take nitroglycerin pills for
What
3
the
days straight
fuck?
after filming. This is supposed
what is nitroglycerin?
to be a reality show, okay? Not military training. She also explained that the show was genuinely unscripted, like nobody had any idea what was going on. They didn't know what challenges they were about to face because the production purposefully kept it a secret. By the way, I got a good one for you. You're climbing a skyscraper today. Also, another contestant, Lucas, the rapper, he like kept falling to the ground because they decided to film on the rainy days. Listen, as long as your bones aren't broken, the show goes on. And then there was Song Yu-Ti, who participated in one of the episode's finales. Yeah, that 20-story building, it's obvious that she was terrified. I mean, she was shaking and like honestly scared. But you really don't have a choice because your public image is on the line. The celebrities reportedly weren't given any food or water as well. And almost every single one of them ended up vomiting after completing the course. And according to multiple reports, if the celebrities refused to work overtime, they would be threatened with malicious editing. The scenes could
What?
easily be edited and taken out of context, and your entire
What the fuck? Yo, what a piece of shit. Like, it's never that deep. I mean, we have like our shows out here, like American Ninja Warrior. I don't know if American Ninja Warrior has controversy, but like the shit was entertaining. They didn't need to do all this extra fucking climb a fucking skyscraper. These motherfuckers is passing out and shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just give him some water.
Your career would just be wiped out if you were portrayed as rude or annoying. What's also extremely weird is that the program allegedly had the celebrities sign different contracts that were designed specifically for each and every one of them, which also demanded that they bear all the consequences themselves. And unfortunately,
What?
on just the 4th episode of Chase Me, a horrific tragedy happened. This
Oh
was
my
one of the darkest
God.
moments in all of Chinese television history. 35-year-old Godfrey Gao was one of
Oh.
Taiwan's most
He's like a Chinese moist critical.
recognizable actors. People knew him as someone who quietly worked incredibly hard throughout his entire acting career. Many netizens first became familiar with him in his 2013 romance drama Remembering Li Chuan. At the same time, Gao was continuing working on new dramas, new shows, and just overall building his career.
Yeah,
And
cool guy.
physically, he was in great shape. I mean, he loved sports, especially basketball. He took his fitness and his acting career extremely seriously. He once
Nice.
said in an interview, "From the beginning of my career until now, I have been working hard. I've tried my best to audition and act just to get a better platform." And sadly, that explained why Chase Me was a perfect show for him. For celebrities, these variety shows are one of the most fastest and effective ways to stay relevant.
What's Vivo 5G? Is that like 5G internet? Is that like their like in China? Is that like their shit out there?
They generate huge publicity, and for someone who was actively building their acting career, it was a huge opportunity. So on the afternoon of November 26, 2019, Godfrey Gao arrived on set, super excited for the show. At first, he participated in the Mech Suspension Bridge Challenge. Then at around 1:26
So the super athletic guy got fucked up, bro. How?
a.m., his run began. This was one of the major track sections, and after running over 600 meters and navigating through multiple obstacles, immediately something looked wrong, and he was clearly struggling to breathe. You could actually see him slowing down. He looked completely drained. Step by step,
my
he bent
gosh.
over repeatedly, moving incredibly slowly before finally disappearing into one of the buildings. And then he spoke what would become his final words.
Oh
"I
no.
can't go on." Seconds later, he collapsed, and the cameras just kept filming. Those 16 seconds of footage would become the last 16 seconds we see of Godfrey Gao. Early on the morning of November
Whoa.
27th,
The fact that this nigga, he plays sports, he's athletic, all these things, and he still was struggling, gang. Yeah, this shit. Nah, this shit has to end, bruh.
2019, Godfrey Gao was pronounced dead after suffering cardiac arrest. This was
Oh,
absolutely
fuck.
heartbreaking, and it made people realize how disgusting the show really is. The news spread it across Chinese social media like wildfire, and people were outraged. The show and the production team were getting
Oh, man.
absolutely flamed because this was the first time in a very long time that a Chinese celebrity had actually lost their life while filming a reality show. According
Wow.
to the witnesses, some of the production staff initially thought that Gao's collapse was a part of the performance. They thought he was acting, and because of this, he
Bro. Gang, come on. Really? Nah, bro, you're just retarded,
missed that
bro.
vital window
You're just
to be
retarded.
rescued. People compared the incident to what had happened earlier with Zhou Shiming falling in the ball pit, and several on-site witnesses claimed that there was a huge
Yeah, if athletes are like passing out, bruh, like this shit's cooked, bruh.
delay
Come on,
before the
bruh.
rescue efforts actually began. According to a netizen that was there, fellow contestant Johnny Huang had repeatedly shouted for the film crew to stop filming and rescue him quickly. Yet the filming just continued. You would think that after something this horrible that the show would have been cancelled immediately. But it wasn't. Instead, they released a statement saying that they would deeply reflect on the reasons for the accident.
These niggas ain't learning shit, bruh. These niggas ain't learning a goddamn thing, bro. These motherfuckers did not learn a damn thing, bro.
Conduct a comprehensive
guarantee you.
investigation into all aspects of the program's recording.
All
and do a better
aspects.
job in ensuring the program's safety. Needless to say, people were even more furious after that.
Yeah,
There's a detail I
yeah.
don't understand. Since there were already 2 ambulances at the scene, why was another ambulance called around 2 p.m.? Were 2 ambulances not enough, or did the emergency equipment listed in the statement not exist? Was the CPR performed by an amateur driver? Obviously, they didn't have an ambulance or a doctor. They saved that money to buy themselves a burial plot. And only after 1 week
Wow.
of overwhelming backlash did Chase Me finally get cancelled. So it took nearly an entire week of public outrage before they decided to pull the plug, meaning that there was actually a chance they would continue with the rest of the episodes. The show's
Okay.
director and producers were both dismissed, and many of the production staff were actually held accountable for this. The fellow contestants were heartbroken by the news, and they all made their own comments of condolences to their friends and families. And many netizens also accused the network of clearly exploiting and torturing these celebrities for entertainment. Ultimately, the controversy surrounding Chase Me is still to this day one of the most tragic incidents to occur in all of Chinese television. To try to end it on a lighter note, after Godfrey's passing, his legacy continued. Many of his fans had been using his name to do charity work. They contributed toward an educational charity using his name, which provided a library for children in rural communities. His love for basketball was also a very important part of the way people remembered him. Jeremy Lin once attended a Chinese Basketball Association event wearing a suit that Godfrey had given him. And Godfrey Gao's Guangzhou charity group raised so much that a basketball court was given to a school in Anhui province.
Bro, people are willing to do anything for money, bro. Like people are literally willing to do anything for some change, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't even make sense. Like, why they should have just sit out people. Like, what would have happened if they would have done that and saved his life? If anything, it would have made him look better and it would have gained them more publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
he was also recognized beyond the Chinese entertainment industry. His image appeared during the Academy Awards tribute to members of the film industry who had passed away. Then in September of 2022, Godfrey's family unveiled a statue to remember him. The statue can be found at Jinbaoshan Memorial Ground, the place where Godfrey was laid to rest. Going forward in the future, sports-themed Memorial Ground, the place where
they got black people in China, bro.
Godfrey was laid to rest.
I didn't know that.
Going forward in the future, sports-themed variety shows are now subject to strict review, and also the scope will not just be limited to TV programs, but just all shows in general. But the thing is, as long as demand exists, shows like Chase Me will always come back with some new type of variation. And in cases like this,
bro, shit like this is fine as long as it's like it's safe. They just need to make it in a way where it's safer and it's less chance of fucking collapsing and dying. You know
the shows will use the celebrities for entertainment, knowing that the celebrities need to rely on these shows to stay relevant. At the end of the day, these shows are made for us, the audience, but no amount of ratings or record-breaking viewership is ever worth someone's life. So yeah, that was the story of China's Chase Me reality show. Let me know your guys' thoughts. It's always good to just keep in mind that Chinese reality shows or reality shows in general are not ever as bright or as honest as...
True. That is very true. You know what I'm saying? Like on Love Island, they don't like feed, they don't give like the guests food, they give them alcohol only. And it creates drama in the show, it makes them uncomfortable, and it makes the actors, and well, not the actors, but like the people on the show react in ways they normally wouldn't have. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even like it's can my mouse fucking work? Like, what the fuck is wrong with my mouse? Work. Okay. But yeah, man, like I don't know, bro. Like, I mean, bro literally could have been saved, but they literally sat there and they was like, nah, let this nigga die, bro. You know what I'm saying? It'll get us clout. You know what I mean? Like, it was just hella unnecessary. Like, there was no reason to have them doing the shit that they were doing on the show. But anyways, man, I hope you have a good breakfast, a good dinner, and good night. I love y'all, man. Peace.